So anyway, the story with these three little urchins is going to be kind of a recentering, just because I needed to be recentered on the story of Dragon Heist, and also it's a thing that my DM did for me, and it's something that I wanted to do for you guys, because whenever he did it for us, it was a lot of fun, and it was a nice little break from the very serious tone that our main campaign was having. So, you three guys are taking the role of three Waterdavian urchins named Nat, Jinx, and Squiddly. Nat is she is the oldest member of the group. She's a human fighter, fighter in quotation marks, who is, as the oldest of the group, she is the most responsible one. She cannot speak, and she communicates through her own little invented sign language that only Jinx and Squiddly can understand. And Nat will be played by Mark tonight. Jinx is a human, and then in quotation marks, wizard, who has a very active imagination and totally believes that his magic is real. He is the most imaginative of the group, kind of shy, but he has a good heart, and he does whatever he can to help his friends. And then we have Squiddly, who is a tiefling, in quotations, rogue, who's the very bold and exploratory kid of the group, who's always getting into trouble. His wit gets him into trouble as often as it gets him out of it.
He's the leader of the bunch. You know him well. He's finally back to kick some tail.
So, ironically, the only one of them with a tail. So, you guys are these three poor Waterdavian urchins. It's tough being a kid. It's tough being a street urchin with no one to care for you. You've got to, find food where you can, whether it's stealing it or picking it out of a barrel. And Nat and Jinx, Squiddly is off doing one of his own little things when the two of you are in one of the streets in one of the wards. I'm not going to put a concrete location because that's too easy. And you guys are like poking around for food like you always do. You have your money that you've gathered like for the past week or so, and you're about to go and like find somewhere to eat when this beautiful lady you see in a shimmering golden dress, flanked by these two armed bodyguards, starts walking down the street, and you watch her for a little bit, and she goes over to give a gift of a gift of I just read what Josh put in the group chat. Stop it. She bends over and like gives some gold and says something to a beggar on the side of the street, and then she proceeds forward and does the same thing. And she looks like she's approaching both the two of you. What do you do?
I cast Charm Person and comb my hair back.
Excellent. Yeah, you totally cast Charm Person. And this lady who is wearing a brooch with the sigil that is on that ring that I linked in the Discord chat, she approaches you and she's like, "Oh, hello, child. How are you doing today?"
We're doing pretty good, but we could use a warm meal.
Oh, yes, of course, please. And one of the guards that is flanking her produces a leaflet, and he begins to hand it to you. And Jinx, you were the only one of the three kids that can read. And you see on the bill it says, "The Feast of the Sorrowful." But as he begins to hand it to you, the well-dressed noble lady kind of swats his hand away. It's like, no. Just this for the children. Now you two have a lovely day now. Find somewhere safe to sleep, okay? And she hands you a couple copper pieces, which will it's like a couple silver pieces, so it's going to feed you for a solid couple days.
Charm Person every time.
Oh yeah.
Can I try to sneak the poster away from the guard?
So I was about to get to you, Squiddly. While Nat and Jinx are doing their own little thing,
Never mind.
You're combing one of the back alleys not far away, and it's around sundown. So the sun is setting. It's getting late, and you're looking at some of the birds that are on the roof, and you're thinking, "Oh fuck yeah, we could have some grilled pigeon tonight." When all of a sudden you see what appears to be a man slink slowly across the rooftops. But as you get a closer look with your dark vision, you see that it appears to be poking out of the cloak appears to be a mechanical set of limbs. It's something that you've never seen before. And then you see a sword on this mechanical man's hip. And then he, just as stealthily as he came into your view, starts to go forward on the rooftop away from your view. It appears that he is trying to evade detection from the Griffin cavalry that flies overhead as they do their final rounds for the night. And this, of course, could pose a serious threat for Waterdeep, as it says in your character sheet. Maybe this could be a chance for the city to respect the rat catchers properly, as they should.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and catch him, dude. Like we're gonna tail him and see what he's up to.
All right. Are you gonna get your friends for this, or are you gonna go after it yourself?
Oh, we're just going, dude. I don't have time to get people. I gotta make sure that I don't lose him.
Okay, so go ahead and roll a d20 for me. We're gonna do an acrobatics check. So here's the fun part. Here's the fun part about doing the urchins that I really like. You don't know your own ability modifiers, but I do, and I think that's very appropriate for. I think it's very appropriate for.
I don't think it matters.
Kids, what do you?
I
roll?
got a 5.
Okay, Squiddly. You're usually pretty good at climbing. Your prehensile tail gives you like a good sense of balance, but as you start to maneuver your way up on the side of the building, you grab hold of one of the straps of wood that is bordered over one of the windows of this abandoned building, and it comes loose, and you tumble down a couple feet, and you fall into a bale of just junk. Nat and Jenks, you guys hear a crashing from the alley behind you that you know Squiddly to be in.
Oh, we should probably go check that out. And I'll run back and see what's going on.
Nat, what's your play? Who are you going with?
Yeah.
All right. Nat and Jenks, you guys happen upon the alley just as you see Squiddly kind of poking his head out of a bunch of garbage. Squiddly, you just see your friends enter the alleyway.
I'm gonna yell and be like, "Quick, we have to go after him! He's getting away!"
Okay, let's go.
Okay, sweet. So you're gonna try and maneuver your way onto the rooftop, Jenks? What was that?
Yes. I cast spider climb and spit on my hand.
Oh yeah, I was about to say you obviously have some kind of excellent spell and suggestion. Yeah, go ahead and roll me a d20 at advantage because you just cast spider climb on yourself.
It's a 7.
A 7 at advantage?
Yep.
These guys are awesome. So,
This sucks.
let me give myself something here.
So do I get to determine her method of communication?
She speaks through sign language, like her own invented sign language.
So I can't just do like small little bits of Post Malone songs?
No, we're not doing the most awful Kenku ever. No,
That might be better than the Duke Nukem soundboard.
I've got balls of steel. No,
but I put so much effort into this.
So, her method of communication is like mostly a flavor thing. You can say things like Mark, and that'll be interpreted through her own in-universe as her sign language, just to avoid confusion, so we don't have to like play visually. But if you would like to say something to them, then yes. As you watch Jinx masterfully use his spider climb to start scaling the side of the building. But Jinx, it looks like there's an anti-magic field on one of these walls, obviously, as your portly frame does the same thing with Squiddly, ripping another board off the side of the building.
There's just like, what the fuck is this building made out of? Jesus Christ!
There's a strong anti-magic field that prevents my powerful magic from being able to do anything. I'll try to think of another spell.
Squiddly's just gonna hop out of the bin that he's in and start running down the alley, kind of in the direction that he saw the guy going.
Okay. So you're gonna try and like follow him.
Yeah, I guess on foot.
Okay. Roll me a
We're
perception.
gonna figure out how to get to the roof.
To me, what is going on here? Are people trying to climb and falling miserably?
Yeah. All you know is that Squiddly said something about someone getting away and pointing at the general direction of the rooftops.
Okay.
Would you like to do anything?
So did Jinx tried to climb?
Jinx
right?
Jinx tried to climb the same thing that Squiddly did, and he fell. On account of the building's anti-magic field.
Yeah.
Well, why are they trying to climb with magic?
Well, because,
Wizard.
Jinx is a powerful wizard.
I'm just gonna
Lizard.
climb it.
I'm a lizard, Harry.
Alright, go ahead and make me, just roll a d20.
Come on, baby. That would be a 13.
With your kiddish acrobatics, you manage to identify a path that is not rotted wood. You manage to get up to the top of the roof. And Jinx and Squiddly, you guys were able to watch her watch the pathway she takes up there. And
Yeah, I definitely offer a hand.
right, and with her help, you guys are all able to get on top of the roof. Squiddly, make me a perception roll, just a d20. Whenever I tell you to do any rolls while playing as the urchins, just roll a flat d20. I have your modifiers.
That's a 6, my dude.
Funnily enough, out of the corner of your eye, on another roof, you see a glimmer of metal that appears and then disappears, and you're almost certain that it's the mechanical man. It looks like you have a pathway to him.
Squiddly's just gonna take off after him and be like, he's getting away, come on!
Alright, let's see. So, we are going to initiate a chase sequence, which I have been waiting to do for a long time. I need everyone to roll initiative.
That's an 8.
I rolled another fucking 5.
Where's my... $12.
Jinx 12. And, okay. Alright, awesome. So, you guys are equidistant from each other. You're all kind of like there. So, we've got the turn order is Jinx, Nat, Squiddly. Alright. So, the glimmering you saw, Squiddly, was about 60 feet away from you on this, across some of the rooftops. And most of the rooftops in this part of town are bordered over to where you can walk in between them. Or, like, they're just very close together so that they're, like, easy to jump across, even for kids such as yourselves. So, alright. You guys have some options during a chase sequence. So each of you guys can use the dash action 3 times during this chase. And every time you try to use the dash action beyond these 3 times, you will take a level of exhaustion. We'll deal with that later. If you use the dash action, you have a possibility of triggering like some kind of peril on this chase, as your increased speed like leads you to dangers on the rooftops. So Jinx, before you is a pretty straight shot with a fairly small gap in between you and the next roof, to where Squiddly said that your quarry is.
I'm gonna pursue after, and I'm gonna cast Longstrider to do it.
All right, excellent. Let me see here. And so you're just moving normally?
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Yeah, you managed to get across nice and evenly. With that, Nat, you see Jinx use his Longstrider spell to make the jump between the rooftops. What do you do?
I pull out my handy-dandy grappling hook.
All right, excellent. You pull out a rope that has like a very haphazard, like large fish hook on it. You're gonna use this to like get yourself across the roof?
Yes.
All right. Roll d20.
16.
All right, awesome. You actually like get a good handle on one of the wood like pylons up there, and you actually do swing across in a very clean fashion. It's like actually probably the best grappling hook you've ever done.
I didn't even know I had a grappling hook.
Well, you do now. Thank you for making things up.
All
This is
right.
important.
Okay.
And you managed to like make a good stride in the chase. You're actually a bit ahead of Jinx. Squiddly.
Squiddly's just like too excited, and he's gonna like take a running leap and try to do one of those cool like jump the roof, land, and like duck into a roll and keep sprinting type things.
All right, awesome. Yeah, roll a d20 for acrobatics.
Oh no!
Hee.
I rolled a 1.
Oh shit! Squiddly. Please do not play fucking Post Malone on my good Christian D&D stream. I beg you.
Well,
important.
guys, Squiddly fell off the roof and died.
So please, I'm actively begging you to not play that so loud.
But that part was we couldn't turn around
So-
until we were upside down.
Squiddly. So you
I'm
try
too
to.
excited, man. I'm
Yeah.
like jittering.
Well, you make the leap, and you try to curl yourself into a roll, and you hit a weak spot in the roof that appears to have been thatched over, and you punch right through it. Squiddly, you punch through this roof, and you fall into a room and take a couple points of damage. And you find yourself in like what looks like an abandoned tenement. And as you look up, you like let the dust clear off, and you see a large red flag on the wall.
Of course I do. Does anything seem weird about the flag?
If you get close to it, it seems like it's humming.
Fucking hell, dude. Every fucking time. Well, Squiddly obviously distracted by this, so continue your chase, and I'm out.
Okay. What does Squiddly do with the flag? This is important.
He's obviously gonna touch it.
All right, he touches it, and he disappears. We'll deal with that in
It's
a little bit.
Squiddly's dream. Oh, you mean he poofs somewhere else? Okay, well.
We'll deal with that in a bit. All right, it is the Nimble Rake's turn. All right, and he's going to maintain his distance, which means that Nat is actively gaming on him. So, are you guys just got a DK64 in the chat the entire time? She's good. God damn it. Jenks, oh my god. You heard a crash behind you? You heard a crash behind you, and you saw Nat overtake you with her grappling hook. What do you do? Or wait, let me see something. It's the beginning of the turn, so I have to roll for complications. Okay. So you see, on the roof ahead of you, there is a impediment. It looks like a raised portion of the roof that you'll have to catch and climb over. And again, if you want, you can look behind you and see that there's a hole in the roof and you cannot see Squiddly.
Sorry, was that me? I'm
No,
trying to remember what the names are.
Sorry, I'm
Okay.
talking to Jinx, which is Isaac.
Trying to remember them names.
Isaac, we still got you, buddy?
Yeah, I'm here. Think about what I want to do.
Cool.
Wish I could breathe. That'd be nice.
I know, right?
All right. Trying to think of a spell here, but I'll wait and see what I do first. Maybe use that to react. So I'm gonna try to get that impediment. Keep going.
All right. Awesome. Let's see.
And this is gonna be the one that I'll do a little haphazardly. So I'm gonna do it. I guess pseudo dash. If I succeed, I don't know how you want to do that, but I want to do this with a little haste dash.
So with the impediment, you'll have to make a athletics or an acrobatics check, whatever you think Jinx has better of.
This is a little portly kid, right?
Yes.
Yes, on athletics.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Roll a d20.
Very dexterous. So it's a 9.
A 19, damn. Yeah, so you get over the impediment, like, actually super easily. You grasp on the edge of it, and you with your spell of bull strength, you're able to launch yourself over it. And as you do this, you launch yourself forward slightly, and you actually do see the mechanical man that is 45 feet ahead of you on 2 roofs ahead of you. Nat.
Yeah.
So you've just seen Jinx cross the impediment. You will have to make a strength or an acrobatics check to cross it.
I'm gonna go with acrobatics.
Okay, roll a d20. And whoever is listening to the DK rap, you have disadvantage.
Oh no, God, disadvantage.
We all have disadvantage.
It's 11.
It's not the DK rap, though.
Oh, God.
Hey, can you go ahead and link that one too?
I put a link in chat.
He's dead.
Now there's Chunky. He's dead. Okay, Jesus Christ, that still fucking tickles me.
She's quick and nimble and quick and nimble.
Did I make it?
Yeah, you did make it. Yeah, you follow behind Jinx, and you're able to cross the impediment. And just as you do this, you catch up with Jinx, and you also see the mechanical man ahead of you. Good rooftop chase music. There we go. All right, Squiddly.
I had good rooftop chase music.
Squiddly. This is something I wasn't expecting to do whatsoever.
The DK rap?
No, you feel yourself being
CG.
pulled through space. You feel a tugging at your stomach as if, like, you just went on a roller coaster, whatever the fuck that is.
I went on the up-down machine.
And then you find yourself in what looks like a cellar. It's dimly lit with just, like, what appears to be a crystal, like a glowing blue crystal on the ceiling, which is illuminating a lot of barrels, and it smells like salt in this room. The barrels are very nice. Like, they're not like the broken, dilapidated barrels you see around the restaurants in town.
Wow, I just noticed we did not touch this stupid thing while we were looking at it last time, did we?
There's a door outside in your immediate view.
Well, I guess I'm gonna.
Well, this is. Oh yeah, this is. You are Squiddly. Sorry, I'm used to Isaac being the tiefling.
I'm gonna poke my head and look in one of the barrels first.
Okay. You open one of the barrels, and it looks like it's full of salted meat. It appears to be pork. and it's like exquisite. It's not like half
I'm
rotted.
gonna drool.
It's like a prime cut.
Definitely drooling.
All right.
Can I steal some of this salted pork?
Yeah, you can. You have like a little backpack with you. You could easily fit some salted pork in your backpack.
Cool. I'm gonna pack the backpack completely full. Like,
Okay.
just no room.
And whenever you finish filling up your backpack, you hear someone finagling with the lock on the door. What do you do?
Did I make enough room in the thing to hide in the barrel?
Absolutely.
Oh, definitely jumping in the barrel.
All right, you become a salted Squiddly as you hop into the barrel, and you're able to get.
Dude, don't assault me.
You're shut up.
I'm a child.
You're
It's a
deep
crime.
enough. You are deep enough to see out of a little eye hole, and you see the
Okay.
doors swing open, and you see what appears to be a portly halfling man with a handlebar mustache. And he is dressed in a white apron and has this weird poofy white hat. And he goes in, and he's counting off something to himself. Like, 2 issues of pork, 1 of the caviar, and I think I'll use the older batch just to, yes. And he goes to the barrel that you're in, and he hovers over the lid, and he's like, no, special guests. No. And then he goes to the barrel right next to you and grabs some salted pork. And he leaves, leaving the door open.
Alright.
We're gonna get to that in just a little bit. So this is a lot of fun. Jenks, the Nimble Rake appeared to have stumbled a bit in front of you guys. He seems to be making his way towards the fancy side of town. You're seeing coming up in the distance a walled mansion on its own land. So it's like it's got like gates and it's got like nice property walls and everything. That appears to be what the Nimble Rake is moving to. At the start of this chase sequence, let me roll for an obstacle. And wow, crowd. So okay. And the reason why this mannequin seems to have had a difficult time is because on the next roof, you see what appears to be a bunch of craftsmen and workers are having a rooftop drinking party. You're going to have to make a strength or an acrobatics check to make your way through the crowd unimpeded.
Okay. I'm going to do an athletics, but before that, I'm going to cast Vicious Mockery and tell all the old fogies, move out of my way.
Do it. Yeah, make your roll an advantage. As you say this, they look at you and they're kind of like, "Ugh," and they all kind of get out of the way as you're barreling towards them.
That is
13. Yeah, you bump into like 1 or 2 of the guys, but like you're able to push on through. Nat, you can also make your athletics or acrobatics check at advantage.
Trying to think if I have any other handy doodads I could use.
I like how we've just established Nat as the gadgeteer now.
Do I got any stink bombs?
You could totally have. That's more of a Squiddly thing, but Squiddly could have totally lent you some.
Okay. I'm thinking stink bombs. Or I could just tell Squiddly to stink bomb.
Well, Squiddly's
Squiddly
not.
fell
Yeah.
through the roof.
Oh yeah, Squiddly's dead. May rest in peace.
Holy shit.
Technically, you were both in front of me, so you just did not see what happened to me.
No, I saw it. Just kept going. Kept told me.
So... Yeah, I guess stink bomb it.
Alright, make a ranged attack roll. Just roll a d20.
That's an 18.
God, alright, yeah. You chuck one of your stink bombs, and you pelt a dude in the chest, and a cloud of smoke goes off at around... Yeah, that happens. A cloud of smoke goes off just at, like, adult head level, allowing your childlike frame to duck underneath it without getting disabled by the smoke by the stink bomb. You guys are catching up to the Nimble Rake.
Well, two of us are.
Yeah, Squiddly. So, yeah, the guy ahead of the guy who came in, the chef, left the door open. What do you do?
Cool. I'd like to. I'm going to hop out and kind of dust myself off because I'm sure I'm covered in ick now.
Yeah, you're covered in like a few meat juices and you're kind of salty.
Yeah. Well, what's new? I'm gonna sneak out of the room.
Okay, yeah, make a stealth roll for me.
Alright, don't fail me now, guy. I rolled a 17.
Oh yeah, and Squiddly's a stealthy little boy. Yeah, so you peek around the door, and you look into what appears to be a very elaborate kitchen. They clearly spared no expense in just the cutlery is exquisite. It looks like it's forged of fine metal. There's unnecessary decorative accents of gold throughout the entire kitchen, and you see a bunch of people working away at some dishes. And there's a nearby door on the corner that you could also go through. And with your stealth roll,
is there like prepared food and stuff?
Yeah, there's a couple like bowls and stuff there sitting.
Alright, I'm gonna swipe some food and then sneak out the door.
Alright, make a sleight of hand check.
14.
Excellent. Yeah, you grab a plate of what looks like a bunch of like black sticky orbs, and you just chuck that stuff into your backpack. And you also grab what appears to be a very fine filleted fish, and you also stuff that in there. Your backpack is starting to smell very interesting.
I just imagine that he just like grabbed the plates and like ran out with them in his hands.
Okay.
Like didn't even bother to. He's gonna go find the closest place he can to shove this in his body. So.
Jesus Christ, Mark, you okay?
Yeah.
Squiddly, you poke your head out of the next door that you see, and you see something straight out of like a National Geographic documentary on fancy European restaurants. You see it's a low ceiling, and you swear you hear the sound of water rocking, but you see a exquisite looking restaurant that you're currently in. Purple accents for the carpet with glorious looking chandeliers on the low ceiling. There are dozens of tables draped in fine tablecloths, and there's only a couple people eating. You see, and you've seen elves before, but you've never seen an elf with dark purple skin like this. He appears to be wearing an eye patch, a large feathered hat, and a cloak that appears to be colored every color of the rainbow, depending on what angle you look at him with. And he looks like he's having dinner with a few humans and another couple dark elves that are with him. In the distance, you also see a stairwell that goes up and down.
Squiddly is enamored with the hat.
Oh no. I would love to hear your play about the hat.
So you said he's seated at a table?
He is seated at a table, and he's hoisting a wine glass and appears to be making a toast.
Is there another table behind him?
There's a couple tables all around him.
Are there people seated at the tables around him?
It looks like that's the only occupied table.
Okay, Squiddly's gonna sneak under the table directly behind him.
Alright, yeah, I'll keep your stealth roll from earlier.
And as he's giving his toast, Squiddly's gonna try to reach up behind him and sneak the hat off his head.
Alright, roll me a sleight of hand.
Dude, I'm about to get Squiddly, I can kill. It's a 12.
Alright. And as the toast is going on, all of a sudden, in the middle of the toast, the dark elf Hang on, I need to look up. I need to look at the stats on his cloak because I forgot exactly what it does.
They never suspected the kid to take the hat. Rainbow cloak? No. Fancy clothes? No. The hat.
So, yeah, as you're, oh man. As you're reaching up, he stands up in the middle of you reaching for his hat, and you miss it just barely, and grasp his cloak.
Oh no.
And you tug it off of the brooch, and and it falls over you just perfectly. And you fall backwards onto the ground. The cloak shrouds over you, and you can actually see through it as you're underneath it. And the dark elf swerves around with his hat still on, and he looks around, and he looks up and down. And as he looks down in your direction, you can swear he makes eye contact with you and smiles. And then he resumes his toast. Anyway, as I was saying, my dear, dear friends of Luskan, we have many, many lofty goals here, and I would be ever so delighted for your support. And I'll tell you why your support means a lot to us. Jenks, you have made it through the crowd of gentlemen. So, you see the Nimble Rake ahead of you, and he leaps off of the final roof in the sequence of roofs, and no complications. You see him squeeze through a crack in the wall that is, like, heavily obfuscated by some grass and hedge work. If you hadn't seen the Nimble Rake do it yourself, then you would have never caught it. So yeah, you saw him go through the little secret entrance, which is just a crack in the wall. What do you do?
I'm gonna follow him.
Okay.
I'm still trying to close some distance, but I'm gonna go too.
Right. It's quite a steep fall. Are you gonna
Feather fall?
Feather fall. All right. Roll a
I'm
d20.
gonna flap my arms as I'm falling.
Gotcha.
It's gonna hurt, boys.
So what'd you roll?
6.
Okay. Yeah, so you do your best to get your feather fall working, but it looks like you might be out of level 1 spell slots for the day. And you tumble into a hay bale that kind of like breaks your fall, but you smash the cart that was holding the hay, and you tumble forward into the hedges that are surrounding the wall. And you get a couple, like, pricks and thorns, but overall you're good. Nat, you just saw Jinx do a tumble, and the nice-looking hay bale that was going to break your fall is now destroyed. What do you do?
Grapple hook.
You gonna grapple hook? Are you gonna,
Yeah, I'm gonna repel.
You're gonna repel. Okay, sweet. Yeah, I'll actually let you have that one for free because it lets you descend very safely. And so you guys are faced with the hole in the wall. Do you follow?
Yeah, both of us, or just?
I'm asking both.
Yeah, I mean, who are we following?
You're
Oh
following
no, I'm still gonna.
the mechanical man that you were in front. That
Well,
you
then
were
yeah.
chasing.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's
No, I'm
important.
definitely following.
Okay, cool. I have to confirm. That's all. I don't like assuming things. So let's see.
Has anybody even noticed that Squiddly's not there yet?
I
Nobody
think
cares.
I think they did, but like you did tell them to keep going, so they're kind of like it's what Squiddly would want.
They think he's dead? Like, just assumed.
So anyway,
Yeah, this is what he would have wanted us to do if you were alive.
Anyway, so Jesus. So yeah, you guys go through the hole in the wall, and you find yourself on like a nice grassy lawn, a very large grassy lawn with like immaculately decorated gardens and fountain areas and a gazebo here and there that all lead up to a very nice looking manor in the center of the property. And you see the mechanical man make his way to a back door that you could see. Squiddly. It appears that the Dark Elven man has not noticed you, or maybe he totally noticed you and just doesn't give a shit. But you were underneath the cloak, and he continues making his speech. Now, there are a great many friends here that I would love to involve in on this scheme. There's a lovely group of lads that run this lovely establishment out in the Troll Skull Alley. It's actually the Troll Skull Manor. Lovely place. I'd love to introduce all of you to it. I've been myself. But all this will come for later. A toast to the friends of Bragandatha. May lusk and prosper. And then he sits down and the folks get to eating.
I'm gonna crawl away
Okay.
and start heading for an exit as sneakily as I possibly can.
Okay. And you're crawling away while still underneath the cloak. And seems like, and you cross in what you totally think is going to be in their line of sight, and a server actually walks like directly in a way that he would totally see you, but doesn't react to you, which leads you to believe that you've just got a cloak of invisibility.
Oh, great.
You make your way to the stairwell.
Making our way downtown.
You make your way to the stairwell, and it looks like it goes both up and down. It's a spiral staircase. Which way do you go?
Panic. One second. Odds and evens. Let's go. Down.
Okay. So you slink your way carefully down the staircase. You keep yourself wrapped up in the cloak because it totally keeps you invisible now. And you descend through down into what appears to be like a nice hallway that leads up to one room, one giant double door.
I will stealthily try to open the door.
Okay. You it's actually open, and you are able to push it in, and it leads into what appears to be an opulent bedchamber. Lovely. It's the whole area has like a very nice blue lit, like a blue and purple mix of lighting. This giant plush bed, and it's not a bed with like posts or anything. It's one of those circular sex beds. That's just like on the ground.
I don't think that's what that's called, but okay.
You know. And it's like draped in exquisite furs and everything, and
Is there an indoor swing hanging from the ceiling?
there's not, but there's a there looks to be like a bubbling pool of water in one of the corners, and you see someone who's just putting a shirt on. It appears to be a blue tiefling woman. And you see a couple tieflings in your time, but like, you know, it's still like notable. Oh, that's one like me.
I am 10 and I panic.
You're 10, you panic.
Yeah. What's it?
Make a. I'm gonna. Let me see. I'm gonna let you decide like what skill is applicable here to keep your cool.
Oh, jeez. And I just had to reboot my computer, so everything's like hecked up. One
Oh,
second.
well, I can go through it real quick. How about we make this a... You know what? Let's make this a survival check.
Okay.
Because I think that's awesome. Roll
So I'll
a d20.
move, now you have to survive.
I rolled an 8.
An 8. And you feel yourself take a sharp intake of breath against your own will. And you see the blue-skinned tiefling woman turn around. And then she looks around and shrugs and then finishes getting dressed. She puts on some relatively nice but kind of like looking dirty, kind of fine clothes, like they're kind of old and worn out. But they're still like, they're very obviously fine. They're finer than what you're wearing. And she turns about and grabs a sword from the dresser and prepares to leave. She walks past you and leaves the way you came.
I'll follow her back up the stairs, I guess.
All right. Nat and Jinx. So you guys just saw the Nimble Rake go through a back door into this opulent manor. And my goodness, every time we play D&D, I get like some kind of like shit in my throat. Give me just a second. I'm gonna get something to drink because I'm dying.
Y'all, if Squiddly doesn't make it through this, just remember me how it was, okay?
Okay.
All right, I'm back. Hello.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, you've got the back door to the manor, and you've also got, you can see that there's a upstairs, what looks like to be a balcony, and it's draped by columns that are covered in vines, which you think you could totally climb. So it is up to you if you guys take one way or the other. The back door, you climb up, or maybe you can try to examine the rest of the manor, see if there's another way in.
Grapple hook.
Grappling hook up to the top.
I'm gonna follow the robot. We're gonna split this 3 ways. Tyler's like you.
No, it's fine. I like this. Okay. So, Jenks, you're going through the back door that the robot just went through?
Yep.
Okay. You open the door and it's not locked. And you see a couple tracks on the carpet. The interior of the mansion is very lavish and lovely. It's, nicer than any place you've been in. There's lovely pictures on the walls, and there's nice decor. And let me see. Just give me a second. I'm sorry. In the villa, blah 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 blah. And yeah, and one way you see tracks on the carpet that lead to the left. I'm sorry, up to the north through an open door. But also, as you enter, you see what appears to be a large man go up a set of stairs to your left.
Said robot.
Robot appears to have gone north if the trails are from his feet, which, since he was quite dirty, that probably is the case.
Follow the tracks then.
Okay. You go through the front door, and you find yourself in G5. What appears to be a kitchen, a dead end. And as you're in here, you finally see the Nimble Rake. It is a tall man made of bronze, but it's also like made of bits of assorted junk metal. It seems his creation seems very haphazard, and it shakily points a sword at you. But whenever it gets a closer look at you, it kind of twitches, and then the shoddy metal that comprises its sword breaks off in half, leaving him with just a dull sword point. You have the Nimble Rake cornered. What do you do?
And you said I'm in a kitchen?
You're
in a kitchen?
Yeah, you're in a kitchen.
Alright. I am going to look for like vats of liquid, like soup something, and I'm gonna like knock it over Cat Free.
You're gonna knock it over and what?
An attempt to cast freeze.
Ah, yeah, of course. It looks like they had just gotten done cooking for the day, and there is actually a vat of grease that you're able to grab and topple over. As you successfully cast grease, a stinky concoction of oil just like coats the floor, and the Nimble Rake, in its attempt to skip away, slips on on your casting of grease and falls over, and actually splits in two as the contact with the ground is too much for its shoddy frame to hold together. You were left with a Nimble Rake that you have vanquished with your powerful magic. Nat.
Yes.
So you managed to get your grappling hook up to the balcony, and you make your way. You find yourself on a balcony, and
Yes.
the door that is leading to the balcony that you are on the outside of, it is flanked by these two windows. Window sills. Whatever you call those wooden things that you use to like block off windows. Shutters? Yeah, shutters. But they're open so you could see the inside. You see what appears to be a well-dressed woman, not the one that you met earlier in the day, but she appears to be dressed in a finery, not a dress, but like a fine tunic, and she appears to be concealing a dagger behind her back. And as she's doing this, you see the door that she is standing facing towards opens, and a large man with a burned half of his face enters the room, and he seems to be clutching a oval-shaped football-sized pouch. Roll me a stealth check, because he is looking almost right at you, in your direction.
Can I just be very, very quiet?
I would still need you to like roll to hide,
Okay, well that sucks.
because otherwise,
Quiet.
you would have been just climbing on it. It's a visual thing, not a quiet thing.
Well, I'm quiet. So you know, I'm quiet.
I'll give it to you at advantage.
Okay, good. That's nat 20.
Excellent. You're able to actually like retract your grappling hook with you as you do this,
Hey.
and you hide behind one of the shutters and keep an eye on the proceedings through the shutters. Squiddly.
It is I.
So, wow, this is like going way cooler than I thought it would. I hope you know that this wouldn't have happened if you wouldn't have crashed through the roof. But anyway, you follow the blue tiefling lady, and you follow her up the stairway, and she goes to join the dinner party. And as she does, you see the dark elven man with the wonderful hat turn about, and he says, "Ah, yes. My dear agent on the ground who has made so much of this possible. Everyone, this is Song Luxendark. Old friend of mine from quite some time ago. And a Luskin herself, actually. Darling, would you like to say a few words?" And the tiefling known as Song shakes her head. She says, "No, I'm not much one for speeches. I'd just rather sit, please." And the Dark Elf says, yes, of course, of course. Well, everyone, I think it's about time that we talk about investments. Do you stay to watch the conversation unfold, or do you do something else?
Yeah, I think I'll stay and watch now.
Okay, wow. Now I have to ad-lib a conversation. So you hear this dark elven man talk about Luskin, which is a city that you've heard of, but All you know is that it's where pirates are from. You don't really know very much of it beyond that. The conversation is taking turns for investments for a opportunity, and riches that will go towards the city of Waterdeep. The Dark Elf also makes mention of something. He addresses the people gathered before him as masked lords, which you, being a Waterdavian urchin, even you know who the masked lords are. The masked lords are the ruling council of the city. The ruling council of the city takes the form of one open lord, who is the only ruler of the city that goes without a mask. Is considered the head of the council, and then several masked lords, whose identities are unknown because they always attend their meetings with masks. The fact that you were here seeing these people without their masks is probably a big deal. And you get a closer look, and they're your standard noble types. You see like one half-elven man with like black hair. You see you see a very brawny buff man with a handlebar mustache. And high or low? Squiddly? Hey, did I get...
Hi.
Hi, did I get dropped?
No, you're good.
Okay. Oh, you said hi?
Yeah.
Okay. You've been to the Yawning Portal before just because it's the hottest spot in town. The man sitting before you, being addressed as a masked lord, is Durnan, the barkeeper at the Yawning Portal, which is like a shock to you. And yeah, he continues to sorry, the group chat shit. Yeah, he continues to talk about like investment opportunities and mentions consequences. This Dark Elf seems to have these guys by the balls. Now, you're like a young, scrappy rogue yourself, and you know what a good spat of blackmail looks like, and it looks like this Dark Elf has them in his palms. But while some of them look intimidated, the buff human Durnan doesn't look like intimidated at all. In fact, he seems like he's smiling throughout the whole ordeal. So, let's see. Jenks, what do you do with your defeated quarry? You've got a Nimble Rake in several pieces, swirling in the dirt below you.
Which of it would I be able to carry?
Strip it? Okay. So a lot of it is junk metal, but you managed to get a couple struts off of it. Including a bronze strut, which seems to have an incomplete symbol on it. And it looks like the way you pulled that strut off, there should have been another strut with it, just to make the creation symmetrical, but it seems that strut was missing. And you also managed to pry off the Nimble Rake's decorative mustache, which is also made of bronze. And it looks to be greasy on the other side, just enough to where you could probably stick it to your own face.
Oh, what's happening?
Okay. And you now have a little bronze mustache that is stuck to your face with grease. Would you like to loot anything in the kitchen, or would you like to do anything else, explore the rest of the villa?
We should loot the kitchen for food.
Yeah, food.
Alright.
Food.
So it looks like the cooking that was done over here was done rather quickly. But you managed to scrounge up like some ingredient kind of food. You get like some leeks, and you get some fresh vegetables and some fruit, and even a bit of salted meat. You stuff it all in your pack, making sure to keep it close enough away from your from the pouch that contains your spell book and your owlbear familiar.
Hey, did we just drop somebody? I heard a...
No, I'm here. I had to leave and come back.
Okay.
Which also includes your stuffed owlbear familiar. Nat, as you were watching the scene unfold, as you get a better look, you see that the lady who has a dagger concealed behind her back, you see her. You see that she's flanked by a large half-orc man in full plate armor, who's like hoisting a battle axe. And it looks like the man with the burned face that just entered the room is no friend of theirs. And he speaks. And he says, "Lady Growlhound, would you care to explain why you sent a Nimble Rake to interfere with my own operation? I had the gnome in my grasp, and you just had to make things difficult. Now the Watch is going to be all over this place. As soon as they find that necklace that the Nimble Rake used, they'll know exactly where to go. It had your family's insignia on it." And Lady Growlhound replies and she says, "Erstel, I think we have more important business to discuss. You will let my wealth take care of the Watch. Trust me, they can be bought. For the meantime, I believe the job has been done one way or another. I didn't exactly trust the Zentarum, Manchun himself excluded, of course, in acquiring the stone. With my help, it seems that you have succeeded. I ask that you give it up now, please, so that I can hand it off to our master." And the man, Erstel Floxen, hesitantly walks over and unwraps the oval thing. And whenever he unwraps it, you see the stone that they were talking about. It appears to be a smooth, polished, greenish stone about the shape and size of a football, with 3 distinct eyes that seem to be blinking actively. I'm going to link a picture of it. And Erstel Floxen, the man that is holding the stone, says, "The Stone of Galore is promised. Now you will see this to Manchun. I don't want to have to deal with what happens if you fail him." And the lady passes the stone on, nods to her orcish bodyguard, and says, "Of course, of course. Now, if you don't mind, we have other business to attend to, so how about you run along?" And Erstel turns around and he says, "Very well, but don't keep me waiting now. If I hear of any word of treachery, the Zents will be swarming this place before you can even say Manchun." And she laughs. And as he's turned around, she lunges forward and stabs him in the back with the dagger. And you hear him croaking, and you hear him like just screaming in pain. And this is the first time you've seen something like this. But despite like the awful scene going in front of you, you can't help but rip your eyes away and look at the stone that is currently being held by the half-orc. Roll a d20 for me. It's a flat d20.
$11.
You hear a whispering in your mind.
Ooh.
And you don't know how you can tell because it appears to be coming from the back of your mind, but you just know the stone is speaking to you. And you hear
I
it
speak back to it.
Well, you can hear it say, "Child, these fools do not deserve my wisdom, my knowledge. You are strong, you are crafty. Take me into your possession. I can guide you and your friends to untold riches. You will never have to worry about food ever again. You, Squiddly, and Jinx will be rich beyond your wildest imaginations." And you feel an urge to start opening the balcony door. Do you fight or do you go along with it?
am I aware of any immediate threat from the balcony door?
You do see a lady actively stabbing a man to death. You have a feeling that it's probably not the safest spot, but you're being compelled to open the door anyway.
And are we all together?
No, you guys are separated.
Okay, so I'm by myself.
Yes.
Damn. Do I have a weapon?
You have your trusty sword, which is a wooden sword.
Damn it. Okay, so describe the surroundings of the room for me one more time.
It appears to be a bedroom, like a master bedroom.
Okay.
So, like, the balcony is obviously like where they go to get some sun after they wake up.
Okay.
It's a nice. It's got like a dresser. It's got a like a nice double bed with nightstands on each end and like a couple dressers and a door to. It's got two doors. You surmise that one of them might be to the bathroom.
Do I see anything that could be used as a sharp object?
Damn, Nat. All right. As you're peering in, you see there are like decorative swords and like other things that are on the walls. You're none too sure if they're like real or if they're just decorative, but you can certainly make a pass at it. Also, like it's a pretty hectic scene going on. You're pretty sure you could get in there undetected.
Get in where?
Like you could open the door and slip in without being noticed. If you stuck to like yeah, like the door from the balcony, you could slip into the bedroom without being noticed if you like hid.
Gotcha. I'm gonna do it.
You're gonna open up the door?
Yeah.
All right. Make a stealth check at advantage. Actually, no. You hit a nat 20 earlier. We're gonna let that last for 2 rounds because nat 20s are great. So you managed to open up the door while the half orc is watching the stabbing happen, and you manage to swiftly tuck yourself underneath the master bed. And you have a solid view of the feet of the perpetrators of the scene before you. And you see the human man with the burned face fall over onto a heap. And the blood starts to, from his wound in his back, starts to seep into the carpet, getting dangerously close to you. And
how big is the hook on my grappling hook?
It's like I guess it's like I'm not really sure. It's pretty.
Are we talking like one of those bailing hooks?
Have you played Wind Waker?
No.
Ah, shit. I mean, I guess it's like a half foot long. Like it was probably like something that was meant to be used for like fishing or like hoisting things that you just made into a
That's what I was
hook.
wondering. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like meant to be a grappling hook, but you're small, so it doesn't really affect you that much.
I'm definitely gonna take that in hand, and just, as an improvised weapon.
Right. Yeah. As the blood starts to seep and it kind of stops short of you, Lady Grauhund speaks to her orcish bodyguard and she says, "Let's get this cleaned up quickly. No, I don't want to be...
I'm gonna have to kill an orc.
I don't want to be here whenever Manshoon gets here. We're going to have to get this stone to Jarlaxle as quickly as possible." And the orc says, "I understand, Lady Grauhund. Shall you take the stone or shall I?" And she says, "No, you would give that to me immediately."
Real quick, Can I ready in action? Is that a thing?
Yeah, sure. Like, just in case something gets close to you.
Yeah, like if I see a face, I'm taking an eyeball.
Okay. Yeah, you can ready an attack, but you see the feet walk away, and as you hear the feet, and you see the body of the human man with the burned face being dragged, and you hear her say, "I'm going to put this in the vault, and whenever Manshoon visits, we will tell him that Ersta was unsuccessful, We would get the stone to Jarlaxle and rely on his protection as soon as possible. And with that, you hear the door close. Jinx, did we mess with you already, or did you you got your mustache?
The robot.
Yeah. Squiddly. So you've been like kind of sitting here watching the dinner party unfold, and you're like fairly entertained that you haven't been caught because you're such an accomplished rogue. And I imagine you've probably been like eating some of the things that you stole earlier. Including like the little black orbs, which taste awful, but they're a weird new kind of awful. So it looks like it's winding down. And the Dark Elven man with the feathered hat stands for one more toast. And he begins going off. What do you do? Hey, you there?
I'm gonna start going up the stairs now.
Okay. You start to stealthily creep towards the stairway, and then just as you're getting close to it, you hear the Dark Elven man say, "And where do you think you're going, my little friend? Stay, stay! You haven't even seen dessert yet."
I'm gonna glance back, and then I am gonna bolt.
Okay, yeah, you bolt, and you in your haste, you make a dexterity save for me.
Oh, here we go. 19.
19. You managed to keep the cloak on you. And yeah, you hear the Dark Elven man say, "All right, very well. I would have liked to have you for dessert, but..." And then by the time he finishes, you can't hear. So you go all the way up the stairwell, and you find yourself on the surface of a boat. So like, you've seen the deck of a boat before, but this one's weird. By the way that you're standing on it, it looks like most of the boat was underwater. And only the top part of it is above water. And you see men like going back and forth, like just working like the mechanisms above and like moving boxes around. You also see some of them with like swords drawn and everything. And you also see off to the side what appears to be a lifeboat hoisted by the ropes on the side. What would you like to do?
And are we at the dock, or are we like away from the dock?
So you appear to be out at sea, but you're close enough to Waterdeep to where you can see the docks.
I'm gonna sneak onto the lifeboat.
Okay. Excuse me. So you get onto the lifeboat, and it shakes a little bit. And it appears to be caught. It has the ropes and everything. But you do see a lever, which can be used to release it, you assume. Make a strength check for me.
That's a 12?
Okay. It takes a little bit, but you use your little, your handy rogue's knife, which is just like a fucking pocket knife, and you manage to saw your way through the ropes that hold the lifeboat, and you drop out into the sea, and you use your little oar to paddle your way to the docks of Waterdeep with your new Cloak of Invisibility.
Alright, well, Squiddly now has officially a better magic item than Geralf does, so I think I'm just gonna play Squiddly for the rest of the campaign.
Honestly. It's actually, like, Squiddly doesn't know this, but it's not actually, like, totally a, we'll get to that later. It's nighttime. That's a very important thing to note, by the way.
I die.
So, let's see. All right, Jenks. You've gotten pretty much everything you can get out of this kitchen. By now you're starting to wonder where where Nat and Squiddly are. So what do? You also start to hear some commotion up there. You sound like the screams of a man. It's actually quite frightening. That would be you, Isaac. Hey, buddy.
I think Isaac passed away.
Damn, I can't believe Isaac's fucking dead.
Oh, I'm
Rip.
sorry.
No,
May he rip in peace.
Are you falling asleep, man?
Huh?
Are you falling
Yeah.
asleep?
Kinda.
Did you
Sorry.
get? Did you,
Hey, bro, if we need to,
yeah. If
we
you
need
want to like
call
cut
it, man. I mean,
No,
that's
I
fine.
spent 8 hours on the road. I'm sorry.
No,
but
it's
I can
okay.
keep going. But
we're getting
Yeah.
pretty close to the end.
all right. Cool. I can power through. Sorry.
No, it's okay, man. It's okay. We'll get through this. I know you had a long day. All right. So let me think. Let's see. It's around this time, whenever, and I need you to make a stealth roll for me.
Is it 4?
It is a 4. You are so absorbed in your victory over the Nimble Rake and your looting of the kitchen that you see the door behind you open with no time for you to hide, and you see a large half-orc man carrying a unconscious man with a large blood stain on his back. And the half-orc looks down at you, and he says, "What are you doing here?"
No, I just got lost. I was just looked to for the little boy's room.
And he looks down at you. And he looks and he snarls with his teeth. He says, "You get out. You get out now, and you forget whatever you've seen. I don't know how you got in here, but you best leave the exact way you came. Do you understand me?"
No problem.
Right. And he grabs you with his free hand, and he basically chucks you out of the kitchen and closes the door behind him.
So I'm gonna try to give him a hug on the way out.
Try to give him what?
I'll try to give him a hug on the way out.
You fail. He chucked you. So yeah, you were you see you don't see anyone that's actively there. The villa seems like eerily silent.
I got what I came for. I was just Nimble Rake stuff, so I don't know any better. So I'm heading back.
Okay. And you were able to easily maneuver your way out the way you came. Nat. So you were upstairs.
Yes, Nat is here.
You were upstairs, and you've got an empty room to contend with. What do? So you're still underneath the bed.
I'm going to try to avoid as much blood as possible.
You can, like, crawl out from the side of the bed. The blood was coming from, like, the front. Like, the foot of the bed. You can get out from the sides and avoid it.
Okay, then I'm gonna get away. Did they leave the rock?
You don't see the stone that you saw earlier. You don't see it anywhere. You don't see it on any of the dressers or anything. So you imagine the lady probably took it with her.
Okay.
She mentioned something
I'm
about.
gonna. I mean, there's a room here. I'm gonna start ransacking it, taking whatever valuables I can, and then I'm going to get the hell out.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to. Let me see. High or low?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I would choose 4. I'll choose high. All All right, man, you were able to make out with a couple of nice ass pieces of jewelry, and you get a couple gems and just general like pieces of finery, and you even get like a nice gem encrusted short sword, which for your size is like a sword. And lastly, you get a
dang son, dang.
You also get a necklace which has 10 a golden necklace with 10 purple beads that swirl with like some kind of inner light, and it has a large G on the back. And you're going to go out the way you came.
Yes, I am going out the way that I have come.
All right. And through some bizarre twist of fate, the three of you guys meet up in your sewer hideout, the Ratcatcher's HQ, all around the same time. Nat, Jinx, and Squiddly, you guys show off the result of your escapade. You, Nat, you managed to skip out with like a ton of gold and gems. Not the stone that called out to you, but you swear you can still hear it whispering to you on the side. Jinx, you got like a ton of food. You've got plenty of experience points in your magical arts, and you've also got this fancy bronze mustache, and also a one of the struts, a strut with a imprint of a symbol on it that you swear you recognize, but you can't quite place it. And Squiddly, you got the all-powerful Cloak of Invisibility, as you have dubbed it. If that's what it is, then that's amazing. If not, well, it certainly works like one. And that is pretty much what I had for the Ratcatchers. And like what a little go it was, because like, man, that was not at all what I was expecting with Squiddly, especially. But so we're gonna switch back to these guys will be back in some fashion at some point, but
Also, I have so many questions now.
Yeah. It's almost like that's why this was done. So, Rush, are you with me?
Yes.
Okay. It's the end of session 5, and you're doing tasks around the bar. It's around evening, the sun is setting, and you see a couple kids, like, running to an alley. And it's around this time whenever like a small glint catches your eye, and you look and you see Book grasping a necklace, the same necklace of fireballs that he did you know about the necklace of fireballs? I can't actually remember.
Does
Did you
Isaac
know
know, or
about the necklace of fireballs?
does Isaac know, or does Rush?
Does Rush know?
I think
yeah,
The
I
only
think
thing
Book's the only one.
yeah, I think
Yeah, I
Book
don't-
is the only one. So yeah, Rush, you see Book remove a necklace from the fireplace and hold it up as if he was trying to be sneaky about it.
Hey, what you got there?
Wedding present.
Well, looks
That
a
that
little...
is not a lie, by the way, because I fully intended to give it to her.
If you insight roll him, he is telling the truth.
I'm kind of using her as my mule.
Rush, it was very apparent that he was removing it from the fireplace. I just want to make that apparent.
Looks, I mean, if it was coming out of the fireplace, maybe one of our patrons lost it, or we should probably take a better look and see if we can turn it to the rightful owner.
No, it's definitely mine. I found it. It's mine.
It's around this time whenever the door of the establishment opens, and In walks Renair Neverember, the man who you saved from a band of angry Kinku.
Oh yeah.
And
Right.
the guy who sponsored Geralf's initiation into the Harpers. And Geralf, you're actually just coming down the stairs. When along with Dance. And Dance is like, "Has anyone seen Song lately?" He says out loud as, Renair, good to see you, my man. And Renair comes in and he looks at you guys and he's like, "I came as soon as I heard. Are all three of you all right? All four of you, excuse me, Dance."
We're okay. What's going on here, guys?
I believe he's saying that to a Russian book, right?
Yeah.
What is going on with you guys?
Well, it appears that our cat friend found one of our patrons' piece of jewelry that he's claiming as his own.
And Renair says, like, wait, let me see that. And he goes up to you, Book, and he looks at it, and he holds out a hand to, like, take it, but he doesn't, like, make a motion to take it from you. He's just, like, requesting that you give it to him.
I'm just gonna ask him if I can have it back,
Yes, just let me see it.
and I give it to him.
This is...
And I explained to him that I found it and I was going to give it to my soon-to-be wife.
Yes, that's wonderful, but do you know what this is?
It's a necklace.
It's a necklace of fireballs.
Well,
Oh,
I guess it's worth more than a regular necklace then.
But not just that.
accidental.
Not just look. And he flips it around, and on the back of the clasp, the locket, there's a emblazoned G. Letter G. Rush, make me an intelligence saving throw at advantage.
Second, pull that sheet up.
Oh yeah.
Did we lose somebody?
No, he's just looking at his sheet.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, I should probably pull that up since we're playing our characters now.
Yeah. Well, we're almost done.
Is a 14.
You look at the letter G emblazoned on the back, and then it suddenly hits you that you've seen that before. You remember Zoblob in whenever you visited him and he temporarily made you purple. You remembered that he proclaimed you the chosen one and gave you a letter as a gift. A letter that detailed an invitation to the wedding of one Lady Gralhund. It was dated 5 years ago, and it was emblazoned with that very same crest of the letter G.
I might have a lead, guys. I'm gonna pull out the letter. A letter with this same symbol. So probably check out this Lady Gralhunt lady.
Renera takes the letter as well, and he's like, "I remember this wedding. I remember hearing about it. Someone tried to assassinate the lady of the house. The purple lipstick is a calling card. A serial killer that targeted the nobility. Slipped poison into the drinks at the reception. There were very few survivors. The bride herself is actually a habitual... I would call her a stick in the mud for not drinking, but as it is, she does not partake and was able to save herself from the effects. There's some time and gone now, but I wonder, why would Lady Grauhund have some enmity against the troll skull? It wasn't even the institution. That's what I came to talk to you three about. The gnome that was killed outside your establishment. I know who he was.
Go on.
It is no secret that my father and I are not on good terms. After he left the open lordship of Waterdeep to go to become the Lord of Neverwinter through right of popular demand, well, ever since this whole business with the Xanathar Guild and the Zents has been whipped up, well, he's been having his people follow me. That gnome was one of my father's people from Neverwinter. I believe that he was trying to find me. He knows that I come here very often. Perhaps he was seeking to speak to the three of you to find out where I was, perhaps deliver something from you. But he was stopped in his tracks, and something of great importance was taken from him. I believe that Lady Growlhound has the answers we're looking for.
I think that's the best lead we got.
So, am I gonna get to keep my necklace?
Fine, fine. And he gives it back to you. But I don't know where you got that from. And I certainly hope you weren't in league with the people who threatened the establishment that you live in. I'm certainly no friend of my father's or his people, but a murder's still a murder.
No, definitely not.
Do we
The only
have...
people that I know in this town are these two right here. Well, and the people that work here now.
And Dance actually peeks up. He's like, yes, and I haven't seen Song all day. It's quite unlike her to pop out without saying anything. But, well, I'll hold down the fort for you four. Nighttime is good as any for a good old-fashioned break-in, right? Just try to be careful. And I think that's where we'll end for tonight. So, yeah, what do you guys think of the urchins? Was that fun? Was that good?
Mm-hmm.
It was alright.
Mm-hmm.
I like a little departure from the I like a little departure from the main cast every once in a while, just to get a glimpse into things that they wouldn't be privy to, just because I think it's very satisfying if we have a layer of poetic irony where the players know something but the characters do not.
Right.
And yeah, that was a good time, and it'll certainly not be the last you see of the rat catchers. We're gonna go ahead and skip the MVP thing that we do at the end because I know you guys are tired. Thank you for playing. I sincerely hope that was fun. And yeah, do you guys have any questions before we scoot?
The wedding.
Yes, the wedding is like a week from now.
Okay.
I'm kind of holding on to the wedding. Well, I mean, is the wedding something you really want to happen before the adventure's over? Because I was thinking that was going to be like a really good epilogue capstone, but it is really up to you.
I mean, I'd be okay if it happened before the ending.
Okay, then we'll find a way to make it work after.
It gives Book a way to be shady.
Yeah, I totally get that, especially since he's gotten so much shit knocked out from under him. We will see what happens during the next episode, which is tentatively titled, I guess, The Infiltration of Growlhound Manor. Do we have any suggestions for the title of this one? Meme or otherwise? I'm this close to just calling it fucking Quick
Donkey Kong Rat?
No, Quick and Nimble.
Quick, he's quick and nimble and quick and nimble and quick and nimble.
Yeah. So that was a little shorter than usual, but it's still fun. I'm glad we were able to play again after like so long. So yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I'm dipping. Yep, I'm dipping.
Yeah.
See you guys.
Good night, buddy. All right,
I'm about to do the same thing.
99.
Yeah, same here. I think I'm gonna go and see if Outer Worlds is done downloading. Good night, guys.
Hey!
Catch
When
on.
you play Outer Worlds, hey, let me know if it's good because I am debating it, and so is a friend of mine.
Yeah, I've been told that because I'm a huge fan of New Vegas that it's good. So I'm gonna rely on that. Good night, stream.